passing situations, and Alabama so far this year has really not flourished when put in that situation.
Go ahead, Lionel. What do you think the strengths are?
Um, what I see is basically SEC smash mouth kind of football. Now, as I watched Alabama play this past weekend, and I wanted to see if Mississippi State would be a challenge, but as I watched them on offense, I kept wondering, I've seen these plays before somewhere. I know this offense. And eventually, as I started watching the game, you know, they run a play, and I can call that offense. Now, the reason is because Alabama, to me, they are doing the zone blocking and protection, as you alluded to about the offensive lineman, and they're doing a great job. The principle behind the zone blocking is basically what you want to have is 2-on-1. All right, that gives me an advantage if I got two of my offensive linemen on one. They do a good job of that. The second thing, I'm watching this offense, the running attack, and I'm going, okay, I used to call that Bob, which was back on backer. All right, set this formation and see what the weaknesses on the defense and take what they give you. So now they do a great job with running back by committee, I think, and that's Lacey and Yeldon. And I was surprised when I looked at the paper and read the stats that Yeldon really has more yards than Lacey. And in my mind, the way I think, Lacey is the starting running back.
Exactly. That's the way you look at it when you see their play. But I like the combination because you're not wearing anybody out and you're not taking anything away from the offense when those guys change paces.
Right. I think, and I agree with Lars, but I think what are they doing? They are doing a combination of the West Coast offense and John Robinson's smash mouth football attack. So with that being said, my opinion is the greatest challenge to Alabama is injuries, I think.
Okay. Well, let's switch a little bit. Let's go to the weaknesses of the offense because we know they got a strong offense. They're leading in every category in the SEC, and it looks like they're going to get in the championship game. And I know we're talking a little bit forward, but let's be realistic. They're 8-0 right now. So the only thing stopping them from going to the SEC championship game is themselves. So Lars, what do you think the weaknesses may be on that offense?
Well, we haven't really seen it yet this year, but Alabama's not yet trailed in a game. And if you could put them in a hole, put them in an uncomfortable situation, and force McCarron to beat you, who knows what could happen. It's a very solid offense. And right now, both the running game and passing game has been clicking. But again, they haven't faced a defense as formidable and as talented on all three levels, defensive line, linebacking core, secondary, as LSU. And so far, A.J. McCarron has not been challenged. A.J. McCarron has not been forced to win a game with his right arm. And I think that is what LSU is going to try to do. They're going to try to shut down the run right away and make A.J. beat him. And another interesting thing, guys, LSU is off this week, so they've had an extra week to prepare. Alabama's a little banged up, specifically A.J. McCarron. For some unknown reason, Nick Saban kept McCarron in that game deep into the third quarter and against Mississippi State, and McCarron gets hurt. He has a back injury, a bruised back, and both Saban and McCarron said or Saban said on Monday that McCarron's a little banged up, but he should be ready to go. But even if he's not, he may not be 100%, but it sounds like he will be. But still, LSU will be perfectly healthy for the most, or as reasonably healthy as you can be at this point in the season. I know they have a couple offensive linemen nicked up, but to me, again, this game, like most big games, is going to come down to quarterback play.
Well, I tell you, and I'm going to let Lionel get to his point, but I think this is going to be the first real test for the offensive line. I'm not sure how good LSU's defensive line is. I've heard a lot of talk about them, but this will be the first chance for us to see who really has a great defensive line and who has a great offensive line when they come together this weekend. You agree?
Well, actually, what you get is you get a strength of Alabama going against the strength of LSU. All right, and what I mean by that, Statistically, Alabama is averaging right at 214 yards rushing a game. Statistically, LSU is giving up only 96 yards a game. Okay, so now that lets me know it's probably going to be that old traditional type football game, because now you're matching up the strength of an offense in that running attack. And as Lars said, that no one has forced McCarron to have to win a football game. And it looks like that's what we're getting into this week, because that defensive front is the strength. So if they play like they are the strength in that game, something's got to give. One or the other's got to give. Am I right?
I agree with you. Let's shift it over to the defense now. What are the strengths that we see as a defensive line? I mean, as a defense total.
Well, for me, what I see when I watch Alabama play is communication. All right. When you see defensive backs waving for help and getting a guy across from the other side of the field, you know, that tells me that he is in tune to what's going on. All right. He knows that this defense is aligned in the wrong set. I need help over here. And sometimes immediately you will see someone go timeout, or Nick Saban on the field is going to go timeout. So no one ever talks about communication in football. We always want to talk about, we're going to beat them up. We're going to tackle them. We're going to get 11 guys to the football. We're going to do all that. We're going to create turnovers. They are doing that, but then how do you do that if you don't know what the other guy is doing? And that other guy is not on offense. That other guy is on my side.
What do you think, Lars?
What I see when I look at the Alabama defense is a bunch of former five-star recruits, just tremendous athleticism, and even though they have a bunch of young guys playing, they're playing at a very high level. They've taken to Nick Saban's complex defense, a scheme that, as both you guys know, is as complex as an NFL type of scheme, and they have a great understanding of where everybody needs to be, their assignments. And, you know, the multiple shifts that they do pre-snap to confuse the other team. And just so far this year, Jesse Williams has just been an absolute standout at nose tackle, dominating the point of attack. And also C.J. Mosley at linebacker. He's playing as well as anybody in the country at that position.
Well, I tell you, and I hate to bring this up again, I think we started this on the first game, but I'm still a little concerned about the defensive line. There hasn't been a sack on the defensive line this whole season. Should I be worried about that?
No, I don't think so, because the defensive linemen, they take up so many offensive linemen, they free up blitzing linebackers and safeties to pick up the sacks.
Okay, all right. Well,
time is a killer for a quarterback now.
I'm just saying, we've got a guy that can throw the ball coming up this weekend. So we'll see if that strategy that you just described works. But let's hold that. I'm going to see you on Saturday. We're going to watch the game together. Lars, where are you watching the game at, buddy?
I am going to be in northern Georgia with my girlfriend now, taking one last weekend off before I'm on the road for 4 consecutive weeks for Sports Illustrated.
Okay, buddy. Well, listen, we'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Okay, you ready? Surprise. Yeah! Wait for me.
Come on.
Yeah.
Daddy?
Yeah?
The power of yeah.
Yeah.
Brought to you in part by Alabama Power. Always on.
Waiting for something to amaze me. That's when it happened. Right in front of me.
You haven't seen it until you've seen it in Charter HD. Call now to add Charter HD for only $5 more a month and watch all your favorite programs in HD. Charter, let it all in.
Oh, what cookie!
Oh my goodness. Now, if you've been checking out AL.com, you got to check out Bob Carlton. For the last week and a half, he's been on a week-long statewide search for the best little cupcake in Alabama, Gary. Talk about a gravy job, or rather a sweet job. From Mobile to Montgomery to Huntsville to Tuscaloosa, as well as several points in between and out of the way, they polled AL.com readers and asked for recommendations. So you can just imagine they probably got inundated with hundreds of places. But of course, they couldn't go to each and every one of them, but they did visit 25 bakeries and cupcake makers. As a matter of fact, two of them I can think of that stand out are Ida McCrary and Josetti's Cupcakes in Montgomery, who told them that the Lord put it on her heart to open a bakery, which I can believe, and she thinks that she's the only person she knows who likes everything that she makes. I doubt that. And Allison Gramley, who's an athletic trainer at Troy University, started making cupcakes for the basketball team to eat on road trips and now sells them to raise money for her church's choir's missions trips to Italy. Now, that's a lot of sugar. But anyway, besides making you smile and salivating, I got the best place for cupcakes in Alabama. Can I please get a drum roll? It's Dream Cakes. It's Dream Cakes. It's Dream Cakes, Gary. Homewood on Oxmoor Road, Birmingham. You haven't tried them. Something is wrong with you. My favorite is actually Wedding Cake. It's totally delicious. And actually, Dream Cake's bestseller. As a matter of fact, I've caught them on 280 downtown a lot, and I promise you, they're well worth the drive. Anyway, Jan Moon is the owner and has been in business for about 4 years or so. She started in Cahaba Heights, actually. Her and her daughter, Katie, actually have grown the business, which includes 2 cupcake trucks and makes the rounds all over Birmingham. Like I said, they're all over 280 in downtown. But anyway, check this out, Gary. They have over 80 flavors. Is that crazy? I know, right? But luckily, they only have 18 to 20 of them available each day, because I couldn't imagine having 80 flavors at my disposal. That would be a problem. But they got flavors like Beatrice Potter carrot cake. They got the Curious George banana cake. They got the Over the Mountain, or actually Over the Moon white velvet cake. Over the Mountain might not be a bad thing. And for a limited time, Dream Cakes is even offering, catch this, a Grape-A-Co cupcake. Inspired by the grape soft drink that's made by Birmingham's Buffalo Rock Company. Still want to sample some of the other shop's great cupcakes? Go ahead and log on to AL.com. He has all the information right there. And another top 10 list of the other cupcake distributors. But I promise you, the best cupcake in Alabama definitely is Dream Cake. You know who's coming in town next year?
Who?
Maroon 5.
Get out of here.
Oh, they're going to be in concert in Birmingham on March 26th. I know that's next year, but it's going to be at the BJCC. Now, I don't know about you, Gary, but I have been a huge fan since Songs About Jane, which was their debut album back in 2002. Now, of course, you know Adam Levine, their lead man, who I'm totally in love with. He's on The Voice right now and has been for the past 2 seasons, but we'll hate to see him go, but that means he'll basically be on the road touring and performing here in Birmingham. Not a bad look. And for those of you who want tickets went on sale Saturday at 10 a.m. They got the Neon Trees and Owl City are going to be opening acts here in Birmingham. You can actually go to www.livenation.com or call 1-800-745-3000 for tickets. Now, tickets are kind of, no, I wouldn't say they're pricey, but the show starts around 7:30, but you can go from $75 to around $9 to get great seating. This weekend, I had to admit, I'm kind of excited about this. Finally, Dark Girls. They've been reporting that this documentary has been coming since November, so last November, that is. But it's a documentary that explores the deep-seated biases and attitudes about skin color, particularly experienced by dark-skinned women outside of and within the Black American culture. Now, this will be going down on Saturday. It was actually created by actor and director Bill Duke. You know Bill Duke, right?
My old friend, yeah.
Predator and was it Commando?
Oh, yeah.
All right. He and D. Chastain Barry will basically going to be showing Dark Girls at the Carver Theater. That's the Alabama Jazz Hall of Fame at 7:30. Greater still is that Bill is actually going to be here for the screening, and I get to interview him Friday on 98.7 KISS FM. You can actually get free tickets by going to my Facebook page at Isis M. Jones as well.
Okay, you ready? Surprise. Yeah! Wait for me.
Come on. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
The power of yeah.
Yeah.
Brought to you in part by Alabama Power. Always on.
Watching, waiting for something to amaze me. That's when it happened. Right in front of me.
You haven't seen it until you've seen it in Charter HD. Call now to add Charter HD for only $5 more a month and watch all your favorite programs in HD. Charter, let it all in.
Hello to all you sports fans. I have a wonderful dish for you today, curry tofu. Now I know you're saying curry, really? Curry tofu. It's a wonderful dish for those athletes who don't want any fat content whatsoever. So, curry has different types of flavors. You have red curry, you have yellow curry, you have green curry. Today I'm showing you a yellow curry that's actually from Trinidad. I know all the Trinidadians out there are like, wow, he's really doing curry from Trinidad. So I'm going to show you how to do that. First, I'm going to get my tofu. Now, tofu is soybean. It's a soybean product. It's all it is, soybean. So the vegetarians will love this product. We'll get our tofu in there. We're going to add a little bit of oil. What I'm doing is frying the tofu a little bit. And in this process, as I'm frying the tofu, I'm going to fry the tofu with the curry to incorporate the flavors. But first, we need to season our tofu. A little salt, garlic. Now, salt, pepper, garlic is your basic go-to seasonings for me as well. And of course, my sazon. I can't live without my sazon. Also, I'm going to add a seasoning called adobo. Adobo is highly used throughout the Caribbean. Pretty much every island in the Caribbean uses adobo. As that is sauteing, I'm going to add a little bit of potatoes. Add a little bit of carrots because we want some flavor profile in here. Now we're going to add our curry. Now you don't want to add too much curry because curry, the base of curry is turmeric, and turmeric stains everything. So you eat curry all the time, your insides are going to be yellow, pretty much, because that's what curry does. Add a little parsley, just because we can. Now, I love parsley, because parsley doesn't really have a distinctive taste, as cilantro or rosemary would have. But it just adds a little bit of color, and it just enhances the flavor. Now, as I was talking about different types of curry, the red, the green, and the yellow, this particular brand has really no heat, and I love heat. So we're going to add a little habanero pepper. Just a little, because you will regret it later. Right, great. A little saute action there. Now, as your curry is being fried, what you want to do next is add a little bit of liquid. Water, that's the liquid. You let this simmer here for about 10 to 15 minutes. So since we don't have 10 to 15 minutes today, I already have some being prepared. I'm going to show you how to plate with some jasmine rice. Oh man, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. Our potatoes are pretty much soft. Our curry has a beautiful, nice yellow color. I think we're ready to plate. I'm gonna get me some jasmine rice that I prepared earlier. Grab a spoon here. Since I'm from the Caribbean, we love to feed you, so no portions looks a little bit heavy. That's okay. The more the merrier, right? Here we go. All right, you can put this right here on top. About 5 or 6 pieces of curry, tofu with the curry. Some sauce. You know how I gotta garnish my plate. I have to. This time I'm gonna add a little bit of parsley. I'm not gonna do cilantro this time. Do some parsley. Right there in the middle. Let's add a little bit of red to that as well. Take a tomato. Bam, just for color. There you have it, curry tofu, some jasmine rice, wonderful dish for you to eat. I'm Chef Leroy. Please follow me on Twitter for lovely recipes, quotes, whatever you need. I'm that man. Thanks. See you again.